Welcome to the Authentic Spiritual Journey, a weekly podcast featuring real and practical spiritual conversations from diverse perspectives here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. Today, episode 252. Enjoy. And now your host, Reverend Cynthia Alice Anderson.
Hello and welcome to the Authentic Spiritual Journey. My name is Cynthia Alice Anderson. I'm the host. I'm here today in 818 Studios with my producer.
Good morning, everybody. This is Dave Croft. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Authentic Spiritual Journey. As always, I want to be the first one to welcome you to a brand new week. So happy that you are with us today as we pull into the midway point of April. I'm just really excited. Things are in bloom.
I know. Yeah, this is a beautiful time to be in Orlando, Florida. Absolutely. We hope wherever you are, you're in beauty and that you're enjoying the day, that you know that every day is a blessing stretched out before you. And it is up to you, dear friend, to co-create your day with God. And, you know, frankly, we're in the driver's seat of whatever we want to create. And I kind of rolled out of bed this morning thinking about that, really. And it hasn't been too long ago that I rolled out of bed, come to think of it. But we record so early. But we do hope you're having a great day. We always love to welcome you into the show. And I'm kind of excited about the show today. Imagine me excited, you know.
Yeah, you even put an exclamation point in today's title.
Yes. It's like, you better.
Yeah, today's topic is enjoy. Enjoy. It's like it's a command. Just enjoy.
It's like, come on, get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it, right?
Yeah,
you know, just drop the angst and the criticisms and friends, I thought of this title for a number of reasons, and really this title is for me. I'm even today doing the show in my sweatshirt.
You look very cozy and comfy.
I am. It was cool this morning in Orlando, which is funny. If you're anywhere up north, you'll laugh. You know, like that 50 degrees was cool, you know.
Yeah, we break out the long sleeves.
It's like, my gosh, I better get out the big sweatshirt. You know, it's 50 degrees. But I just noticed in myself. So I'm just going to make today completely about my process. And I think, friends, as you're hearing me talk, you're going to get it. And you're going to go, oh, yeah. But sometimes I feel like it's just me that has this problem, that it's weird because I love my work so much and I love helping and supporting people and I love having a full schedule. I love being of service. You know, I'm going back out this week to work with the basketball team and it is a hugely busy week, but you know what? I love it. But here's the thing. I notice sometimes I forget to just enjoy. I'm so busy doing the next thing and, you know, strategizing about how I can reach more people that I forget to just enjoy the ride. And I have so many blessings and so much to enjoy. And so when I can like get that awareness, it's like it makes the work even more fun. I mean, it's not that I'm not working. It's that I take time in between the work and just enjoy the fruits of my labor. Meaning time with people I love. Like I just had some time with my son that was just amazing. I had to, you know, he had a spring break and I had to readjust my week. And honestly, it wasn't even in my consciousness he had spring break. I'm usually like really on top of that, but with so much at Unity North Tampa and then a lot in my business and these, you know, Orlando events, I've got a lot going on and I've got these speaking engagements next month in Pennsylvania and I'm thrilled to be doing all that. But frankly, I had not scheduled spring break.
You had not accounted for it.
Right. And my son always has a lot going on, even on the breaks as well, because he's a musician. You know, he's got 2 households. He's got a lot going on as well. So, but what I was able to do as we were approaching the days, I was like, oh my gosh. So this is like on Thursday, the week before. It's like, Josh, the spring break is next week. I haven't planned anything. And he already had a trip and stuff. So we were only going to be together a few days. And so I thought, okay, I've got to clear the decks. I want this time. And we had a blast. It was like the time we had when he was 3 or 4 years old. We laughed. We ate fun food. I took him driving. Oh my gosh. Teaching a kid to drive is hilarious. Oh my gosh. It was so much fun.
Is he taking to it as quickly and as expertly as everything
Oh,
he does
he's
in life?
doing very well. Yes.
Of course.
He's because he's going about it so, intellectually, the way he thinks through problems is really good. So, and he's much more cerebral than, say, physical, right? So now he's working on the muscle memory of what to do when. So that was a lot of fun. Lots of laughter, of course, mistakes. We're driving down the road and he goes, "Oh, there's a car." And I go, "You got it. Just stay right here." Stay right here.
We're not the only ones out here.
Right. Stay right here. Well, we were in this big parking lot of a mall.
Gotcha.
So, and we kept passing this other, it looked actually like an older parent and their kid teaching them to drive.
Yeah. Who knew that, mall parking lots were the new driver's ed courses? Oh,
yeah. Well, there's malls hardly anybody goes to malls anymore.
Right,
so even a mall that's a working malls always has like at least 2 of the parking lots on one side are completely unused. Yeah. So that was fun. That was not exactly what I was thinking about when I was thinking about the show, but it's just about enjoying the life you have, and years ago when I was working with a mentor, and I worked with her for about 10 years, Mary Delaney's who I'm speaking of, and she's a really good soul. And I did a lot of really deep, spiritual work and soul work and clearing out negative energies. I mean, just really deep stuff. And after I moved from Phoenix, I would fly out there, every 3 to 4 months and do a 2-day intensive. So I was really doing deep personal work. And I had been out there on one of my retreats and, I felt pretty kind of wrung out. You know what I mean? When you've been like the travel and the crying and the seeing my limits, I was just like, God, does it work ever end? Well, anyway, I'd kind of gotten to this completion with her on this topic. And I was sitting there and I had on these old khaki pants and I remember this old kind of white t-shirt that I just didn't look impressive at all. And I'd cried my eyes out. Anyway, I got to the end and I go, "Well, Mary, what's next?" And she goes, "Enjoy." And I go, "What?" I said, what do you mean enjoy?" She said, "You have worked so hard for so long. I want you to enjoy this level of work and let it integrate into your life and just enjoy living. There's nothing wrong with you. Enjoy. Like you've done it." She said, "Yeah, stuff's going to come up. You've done such deep work that you're never going to return to this. Just enjoy." And so I hear that in my mind sometimes. It happened, about a month ago. And I was over at my girlfriend's and we had gotten this new, one of those fire pits that's propane. It's not really a fire pit. At my house, I have a wood fire pit, but she was going to have people over and she got this fire pit and it was really cool. And one of those that has glass in it and propane. It's just beautiful. Yeah. And it was like, why don't we never use that? Let's use that. We had the best evening just sitting by the fire and talking and being in this beautiful screened in porch and hearing the birds. And it was just the moment. And the moment was just in and of itself. It was so simple. Like we didn't need TV. We didn't need our phones. We didn't need anything expensive. It was just being present and enjoying each other's company and enjoying being outside and enjoying the sky. I mean, it was just, there was nothing I needed at that point. It was like I could just enjoy. And so many of our listeners, I was hoping that they would connect with this. It's like I'm talking to Dave and you're not here. But as I was thinking about the show, Dave, it's true. I was thinking, well, maybe this is just me that forgets to enjoy, but I think it's probably all of us that are pretty serious about life and our journey. Like, you and I were talking before the show, Dave, about getting up so early to get it done, get it going, make it happen. This is before work because our work days are full. I mean, I'm teaching until, 12 hours from now, I'll still be working.
Yeah, I think we also get into it. We're both kind of entrepreneurially minded. And so there's always true. Building, growing, there's always more, there's always new students to get on and more. And when you get into this constant feeling of expansion, if you're not expanding, then that feels like you're going backwards. And really, we should take an opportunity to just enjoy where we're at. All of our needs are met. We don't have to keep adding new things in order to go to whatever perceived next level there should be.
As if there's something wrong with now.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and of course, the interesting thing, and this is always, the lie of the ego is stay busy.
Yeah.
And as an entire culture, we've all bought into that. If you're not busy doing something, you're not producing, you're not doing it. But what I've learned from the spiritual journey is the more stillness I have, the more successful I am. It boggles the mind because it looks like I need to be out there making it happen. The more I relax into who I am and being still, the better gifts I receive. So it is a lie of the ego that we have to always be producing. You're not wrong. We're largely entrepreneurial. And I had my accountability partner say to me the other day, because I was talking about my Orlando events, and he said, well, you're always happy when you're doing something new. I said, it is so true. It is so true. And even though I've given talks for 30 years, what's so amazing about these Orlando events is there's no board to appease. There's no paychecks to make except for my own and the two people I hire. In other words, the musician and the food. Of course, I am paying rental, but there's not a lot of people to pay. And I can talk about dress like whatever I want.
There's low financial and financial overhead, and the other whatever we want to call the board, whatever overhead that brings to the table,
Right. And the church has been super, super generous, and they're excited to have me, and I'm excited to be there. I love them. I love the building. I've spoken there, bringing energy into the church. I'm advertising. What I'm doing advertising wise for the church, they would never do on their own, nor could they. So, the Daniel Nahmon event was so great last month that, there were definitely people there from the community that otherwise would never get to hear Daniel Nahmon, And so me doing this was just another way for me to be of service. And frankly, I enjoy every second of it. It's like I get to do church. I have somebody coming there to sell all my products. We just, the first Wednesday of every month we're still doing. I can't remember the next one in May, Dave. You'll have to help me. What's the first Wednesday in May? Is it the 3rd?
In May is the 3rd. Yep.
Yeah. May 3rd is the next one. So we're just having a good time. And somebody asked me, are you going to do these like forever? And I started laughing. I said, I may do them 2 more months. I may do them for 2 years. It just depends on how much fun I'm having and how many people show up.
Yeah.
Because it's not fun to show up and go in the hole financially and not have people show up. That's not fun.
Yeah.
But it is fun to talk about any topic that I want and have people spiritually fed by it and thought and really make them think. Like the first one I did in March, I had more thoughtful feedback than in my entire career. I mean, and the talks went so deep, but my talk was an hour and not 20 minutes. The music was deep and thought provoking. Like, I love church music and I love praise music, but I was really doing a different thing this time. And, my son played classical music. His, quartet played before, and Then during the service, it was just me and Josh. Well, that was a total place of comfort for me. This is how we live. And it was the first time we'd ever done a meditation together outside of the home. We've done it here just to practice. He said to me one day, I think I'd like to play behind a meditation. I said, let's try it. And I said, well, why don't we do that on Wednesday night? And he goes, oh, great idea. It just kind of, so everything I'm doing there is pure joy.
Yeah.
It's pure joy, or I wouldn't be doing it because I have already plenty to do, But so, we talked a while back. I think I said in an earlier show that last year, my question for myself for the year was, what is bringing me peace? And that's what I would do throughout the year. That's probably the last couple of years. And this year it's, do I love it? If I don't love it, I probably shouldn't be doing it. I think part of that is age. Part of that is experience. Part of that is being in a place financially that, not every gig I do is I have to, and I'm like anybody else. I have to make a living, right? But between my one-to-one coaching, my speaking in town, out of town, Unity North Tampa, I basically have 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm not producing. So, but the moments are there to enjoy. And so it's weird. I want to circle back to what we were saying. The culture says stay busy, busy, busy. But if you have not spent time if you have not given the people you love time and attention, or yourself time and attention in a while, might be time to just enjoy their company. Just be in the moment. Often, recently before going into Unity North Tampa, every morning I set my intention. Everybody knows I do my morning pages and all of that. I'm always setting my intention before going in. And the main, intention I've had recently, which is interesting, is just to be present. It's not to be fabulous or, it's simply to be present, because I know when I'm in the moment, I'm going to be enjoying what I'm hearing. Even if there's a difficulty, I can be present to it. I cannot take it on, and I can be in problem solve mode rather than defending something personal. If somebody has an issue, it's just, so what I'm speaking of when I say enjoy is multifaceted. Right? It's about being present. It's about enjoying the moment. It's about seeing the work you've done. It's about rolling with life. It's about being present to those you love. It's about being present to what is. Yesterday I had come home and the weather was a little cool. I'd been gone all morning because I was in Tampa and my home is in Orlando. So I'd been gone all day and it'd been kind of cool. So I came home, the house was cool. And anyway, once I got all the animals fed and watered, I said, I'm just going to go sit out on the front porch and hang out. And there was such a sweet little energy out there. And I thought, I have not sat on this porch in a couple of months. I used to, when I first bought the house, I'd sit out there every few days. I live in this cool downtown neighborhood and there's always people, kids on bikes or somebody walking by with their dog and say hello. And it was just like, wow, this whole moment was here. I could have just been binging on Netflix, but I would have missed this whole moment, this little Central Florida breeze that I have this love affair with. Like the breeze in Central Florida, I felt it nowhere else. Even when I was a kid, we would drive down to Florida from Georgia. And after we'd hit, we'd get down below Valdosta and then we'd get into Florida and I'd say, Mama, let's roll down all the windows because I feel that Central Florida breeze. And there's nothing like that Central Florida breeze. It's that ocean breeze that still blows in Central Florida. So that's what I was feeling yesterday. It was amazing that one little moment, which I wasn't even out there very long, just a few minutes. But those few moments took me back to this beautiful memory of when I was a child with my mom, and I could just be there. It was like being on vacation mentally. It was like, wow, yeah. There was nothing to do, just to be and enjoy the moment.
Yeah, and yeah, Shannon and I have a little fire pit that sounds a lot like what you were talking about. And man, it's like the propane went out, and so it's just been covered, and it's such a small
it's easy to do that.
thing just to refill the propane tank. Come on, Dave. I mean, just fill it up and have these moments, because otherwise we'll just stay in our room and scroll our iPads with Star Trek in the background, and that's life. And before you know it, another week has gone by.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, it's a way we relax now, frankly. You guys know my love-hate relationship with technology. Right. I love what it helps us do. I love that it helps us get the show all around the world. I also think we're all way too connected to it, It's one thing if you have it on like a radio, but when you're constantly scrolling and going to sleep to it, okay, it has a little too much control. So it's like just getting the balance of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and recently, I can't remember if I shared about this on the show or not. I was telling my congregation the other day that now that I don't have a lot of drama in my life, sometimes I have to have experiences that take me out of my comfort zone that are kind of exciting, and it's another way to be in the moment, frankly. And I recently did a NASCAR ride. Did I share this on the show, Dave?
I think so, yeah.
I did the NASCAR ride along. Anyway, it was such a blast. I've never felt gravity quite like that around the first turn. Okay, I can resist this, or
it gives you new respect for those drivers as far as the physical act of driving those cars.
Yes, and I do have a couple other experiences coming up that I'll share after. Let's not jinx it with talking about it before. But boy, the only thing in that race car was the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what was interesting, once I relaxed, I was smiling the entire time. Yep. 3 miles at 200 miles an hour was memorable.
Yeah.
Definitely memorable. Oh, yes. So enjoy the moments. Enjoy the moments. If I lined up every moment in the last year, I would say the best moment was teaching my son to drive. Mm. It was nothing that had to do with money or anything I own or who I know or in my career, and I've had some wonderful moments, but that moment was the most special. The trust, the laughter, what's the word? The growth, the maturity. I mean, that's like a archetypal moment of adulthood. Like I just got to be there for it.
Yeah. And that moment doesn't come back again. You know, like there's a very small window where you'll be teaching him how to drive, and then he'll know how to drive. And he doesn't.
And then it's over. It's over. Be like, bye, John.
It's like, now I'm driving, and just this is me. I got it.
Well, and I finally got that new truck, and how cool that he gets to drive a vehicle that nice to learn. Mm-hmm. When I was buying it, and I had just an amazing salesman. It was down. Actually, we did a nationwide search for the truck I wanted. There was basically one in West Palm Beach for exactly what I wanted, which was off-road, four-wheel drive, sunroof, everything, 2021. Anyway, when I was telling the salesman that my son was going to learn to drive on it, he was like, lucky kid. I said, he is one lucky kid, and I'm lucky to be able to provide it. And this is something I've always wanted. So it was just really fun. And it really will serve me and my church and my ministry, because I'm always taking stuff back and forth. Like the other day I was driving around with my girlfriend. We were, and there was this table and chairs on the side of the road. And I said, now, does that look any good? She said, for church? Because we don't need it. I said, you're right. We don't need it.
That's funny.
Exactly. I said, exactly. Now you got me. Yep. It's all about church. Does the church need it?
Don't throw it in the house. Nope.
No, we don't need it, but maybe church does. Maybe church does. So yeah, that was quite a moment. I'd say another moment was when we were doing the meditation together, Josh and I. I mean, it's just seeing him mature and grow. It's, just being able to be present for that was, to not be distracted all the time. I mean, I think, the main issue I see with families today is really not codependence. It's not, because we have enough knowledge now of psychology and what are healthy behaviors. I saw this comedian recently saying the problem with my generation, he's a millennial, the problem with my generation is we all know what's wrong with us and we expect you to work around it, And so it's not like we don't know what healthy behaviors are. It's the distraction from the tech that I think keeps us disconnected. And as a culture, we're more disconnected than ever, even though we have more ways to connect than we ever have before, at least electronically. So, and what I've noticed is we're not connecting in real time, but over electronics. I love that I work with clients all around the country, and there's nothing like seeing somebody in person.
Yeah, we're all kind of siloed off.
We are kind of siloed off, yeah. So I don't know if that's for me. Those are making the personal moments even more. It's one of the things I love about serving Unity North Tampa because, probably 70% are over 70. Right? So there's a lot of new people coming in, a lot of new people with kids. We were up to about 85 people. Then we'll be down to like 70 and back up 85, 90, But by and large, they're older. And what I've noticed is none of them care about their phone. They barely know how to use it. They just want to call.
They're not scrolling in the middle of service.
They just want to call you on it.
Yeah.
And several do multiple times a day. They love to call me. But what I love is when we're together, they're really there.
Very present.
Very present. They're listening. Not only that, they give at such a greater level because they realize if they don't give, the church won't be there. So they're very invested. And that's something I don't see in younger generations. Everybody wants a minister if they're getting married or somebody dies, but all that in between, take it or leave it,
Yeah.
But the older generation understands the importance of having a minister on your side because life happens. You have a surgery, somebody in your family needs prayer or recovery. Who do you go to? So, most people now just go to Google and say, type in recovery center, not knowing or any. So anyway, but, one of the things I love about my work there is the presence of the people. They may have possibly even helped me with that a great deal. Yeah, just staying present. So the idea, friends, I know we've talked about a lot of things. I think as I was thinking about the show today, my one thought was, I hope you make time to enjoy, because so many of our people that listen, so many of our listeners, they're big givers to their families. They're big givers to life. They want to make a difference through their career. Many of you, I know, are mentoring others. You're helping others. Some of you are ministers. Some of you are in your field, really doing a lot to help others, reaching out. I hope you just take time, though, to enjoy the moment and know that you don't have to work quite so hard and that you can take time to enjoy, and that even in the midst of busyness, there is this inner quiet, this inner joy also that can bubble up as you're present, that you're not distracted and, going a million different directions, that you're staying present to what is, asking for guidance, what's yours to do, when and how to do it, and that you're just present to what is. And as you are, those next steps just become simple. They become almost elegant in the way you move forward. Rather than forcing things forward and trying to make it happen, it happens. It happens. And I would also ask for your prayers. I've got a lot of travel coming up in the month of May. Unity of New York. Just picked the venue recently for where I'm speaking. in Pennsylvania. So would just ask for your prayer support. And if you're going to be in the Pennsylvania area, we'll be starting next show, giving you exact details about when and where I'm going to be. But it's mid-May. I'm going to be up in the Pennsylvania area speaking at a variety of venues. So this is a big growth for me in my career, and I would just ask for your support. And if you are in that area or know folks in that area, please send them out. We're going to make the event very affordable, and it's a way for me to reach people outside the walls of a church or spiritual center, and bring people into some of these ideas that are really ready to grow, prosper, and evolve, which is what all my teachings are about. But we do thank you for joining us today. As always, Dave and I love having you along with us. So whether you're driving, working, or cleaning the house as you listen, we thank you. And I thank you for your financial support. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet on YouTube, please do. It helps me reach more listeners, believe it or not, when you do that. So please share on your social media, subscribe, and that will really, or follow us on Instagram. And any questions about what's going on, just go to my website, CynthiaAliceAnderson.com or experienceofthesoul.com. And both those websites are there for you to support your journey. And we thank you, dear friends. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Blessings on the journey, dear friends.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Authentic Spiritual Journey here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. This channel is made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. The Authentic Spiritual Journey is copyright 2023, Cynthia Alice Anderson, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission from RR Hot Publishing. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.